What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Matt Panella with MattBangsWood, and today I want to explain to you guys what nail guns I use for which tasks. I get asked this quite a bit, what nail gun we use for nailing off hardware, or what nail gun for nailing off shear panel or roof sheathing. So today I'm going to break that down for you, explain what guns I use, and what guns you can use if you're looking to get into rough framing. So we're going to start with the gun here that I use for framing all of my walls, roofs, and floors. This is a Hitachi Nr83a2. This gun is actually discontinued. They quit making them quite some time ago. You could find them used on eBay or on Craigslist, but they are somewhat hard to come by. If you've ever shot an old gun like this, you know that they fire very smooth. They don't have much of a recoil. Therefore, they're used quite often for rough framing, and specifically for framing floors, walls, and roofs. The newer guns have quite a bit of recoil, so they're not seen too often when it comes to banging walls. I bought this gun 8 years ago when I was 15 years old for $50 off of another guy that I was framing with, and I rebuilt the thing once. From there, it's never been rebuilt. You guys have seen me use this gun for a very long time now, and it has built a lot of homes. But this gun here does not have a depth adjustment. You cannot control how deep the nail shoots. Therefore, you do not want to shoot this when you're doing roof sheathing or floor sheathing or wall sheathing. This gun right here, though, will shoot 2" to 3 1/4 nails. So anything from our small 6Ds up to a 16D. Now we're going to switch it up here and talk about a gun that's a little bit newer. This is the Hitachi Nr83a2. This gun is still out right now. You can go purchase this online on Amazon. Link is in the description below. You can check it out if you'd like to. This is the gun that I would recommend any of you youngsters that are getting into the trade. This is what you need. It has the depth adjustment up here, but check it out. If you set this all the way back down, you can frame with this thing just as good as you can with the Nr83a2. Once you get into it a bit, you might want to pick up one of the older guns just because of the way they fire. But this gun right here, if you're looking to make one purchase to do your roof sheathing, floor sheathing, wall sheathing, and all your framing, the Nr83a2 from Hitachi is definitely the gun to go with. It can do it all, but personally, I like the way the old guns fire, so that's what I shoot. This right here has the depth adjustment up here. As you can see, we use this gun for roof sheathing, wall sheathing, and floor sheathing. This can shoot 2" up to 3 1/4 as well, so it'll do the same exact thing that the old Nr83a2 will do. This gun has a bit more recoil, and you'll notice that when you start shooting it. Along with that, they've added a lot of safety features, which isn't a bad thing, to the Nr83a2, such as the push lever right here. You can no longer operate this thing one-handed. Nonetheless, this is still a great gun. I use it all the time. And if you're just getting started in the trades, this gun is actually perfect for you because it does have the option here on the trigger. Like I said, there's a lot of new technology in these guns that you can allow the thing to either single fire. So if you pulled the trigger and pushed it up against the wall, it would fire one time and that's it. Or you have the option to have bump fire set, meaning if you pulled the trigger and pushed it up against the wall, as many times and as quick as you could push it up against the wall with the push lever here, it's going to fire. So if you're just getting started in framing and don't want to shoot yourself yet, I would go ahead and set that to single fire and get started doing that. This is a great gun though. If you guys need a gun to do anything and everything, I highly suggest this. But once you get into the trades for a while and want something a little bit different, something smoother, and you have the budget to do so, buy an old gun. You will not regret it. And lastly, I want to talk about a hardware nailer. You guys see us put on hardware all the time, whether it be a little LUS26 or H1s. Every job we do, we have hardware, especially since we're out here in California. This is the Nr83a2. I don't know the name of that one off the top of my head, so I had to look at it. This gun right here is actually more expensive than either one of those framing nailers. They're not cheap, which is why most contractors don't actually have guns like this. They'll have palm nailers or they'll just have people hand bang hardware still. These guns right here are awesome though. As quick as you can put this thing in the hole and fire it, it'll keep up with you. Anytime we're doing hardware on a project, this is the gun that's being used. We have 3 of these things. They shoot 1.5" Ticos to 2.5" Ticos, which is a hardware nail. Ticos are these little paper collated hardware nails here. Now I have one complaint about this gun, and that's about it. When you get down to the last 5 or 6 nails, this gun refuses to shoot. And it's not just this gun, it is every single Hitachi hardware nailer I've ever used. So just know that before you buy the thing. If you get it and you're thinking, holy crap, this thing's broken, it's probably not broken. It's just doing what Hitachi hardware nailers do best. But that's a wrap, guys. This is our hardware nailer Nr83a2. Only gun we use for hardware. You might see some people out there shooting some hardware on with a framing nailer. Don't do it. You're asking for a ricochet. You're going to end up with a 16 to the eye. Do not let it happen. Hardware nailer, sheathing nailer, This thing has fired very few 16s. For the most part, it's all 8 and 10Ds for sheathing. And lastly, the tried and true framing nailer. These old guns are very hard to come by. You're not going to be able to find one all that easy, and when you do, if it's in nice condition, they're going to ask quite a bit for it. Most contractors don't get rid of these guns, so the chance of you finding one isn't impossible, but it's definitely not a good chance. If you find one for a decent price, swoop it up. Like I said, I've had this gun for 8 years now. It's been nothing but great to me. I've rebuilt it once. That's all it ever needed. So that's what we've got, guys. I wanted to share that info with you because I've been asked so many times what guns we use for what. That was our hardware nailer, our sheathing nailer, and the framing nailer that I use personally. Hope you guys enjoyed that info. I've been asked a million different times, so I figured I'd make a little video on it explaining it for you guys. We do have different hardware nailers, and I'm going to show that in a future video where I go over multiple different hardware fastening systems and explain that in depth to you guys. I've got an awesome little, what I call a palm nailer on a stick. It's literally a palm nailer with a big old magazine off the back from New Tools. Great little gun. And I've gotten a lot of questions regarding it as well, so stay tuned for that. I have a video coming out regarding hardware nailing. Along with that, I have a video coming out where I talk about everything you need to get started in rough framing, not as a contractor, but as a framer. So stay tuned for those videos. I'm going to head on out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed this info. If you did, big thumbs up, subscribe button down below. Click the little bell icon to the right of it to turn on post notifications to get notified when these videos go up. And I'll see you guys next time. Bang on.